Hello, welcome. I'm FCA. Like and subscribe, join the channel for so much more fun, randomness, chaos. Life doesn't end at 25. I'm in my mid-30s and we're still killing it. So let's keep going with my top 8 favorite Sunday comics. These can just be regular comics in general, but there are so many and I love them. I love to laugh. If there's one thing you need to know about me if you're new to my channel, I love a tier list. These are non-exhaustive. They are pure opinion of just a fangirl who's ready to tell you all some of her favorite things. We love sharing things that we love with each other. The internet's for communication, and if you disagree with anything that I say, you can politely comment down below your arguments of why something shouldn't be in the top 3 or why you love another comic way more. We love to share it, we love to see it, and let's get started. Starting at our bottom of our list, it's top 8 because 8 is my favorite number, is Baby Blues. Baby Blues is about a family, a pretty typical average family, a mom named Wanda, and I actually forget the husband's name off the top of my head right now. But he has orange hair, he's quite funny, and they have 3 children. And the children are really where we follow from the beginning of the oldest child, Zoe's life. She is precocious, and you get all the things that come with a precocious, know-it-all older child. Then there is Hammy, who is their boy, who is into dirt, into bugs, into chaos, and school is not his priority like it is Zoe's. And then their youngest little baby, Ren. And it just follows this family around with some very realistic humor of, I can't yeah, we cannot afford to give you that weird thing that the child is asking for, and no, you cannot have a bucket of worms for dinner. And also kind of marital back and forths of 2 people who genuinely love each other and are willing to do anything for each other. There's a lot of loving moments and cute moments, and it's consistently funny. I haven't read one of their comics that misses a mark for me, and that's why it's in my top 10 and on the list. Number 7 on the list, which actually I had debated a bit with changing out with Baby Blues, but it is For Better or For Worse. And the reason why this is low on the list and was possibly going to be 8 was because I do love For Better or For Worse. I do think that it's funny. My problem is it has a lot of heart-wrenching, a lot of sad moments in it. There's a lot of realistic, devastation moments that happen too. But I think it kind of goes along with, you have to do that. Crappy things are going to happen in life, and you have to find the humor in it. You have to kind of see the good in it and just push through. Like when the family's basement floods, it hurts, and they get really upset when they learn that even though they have homeowners insurance, it apparently doesn't cover acts of God like flooding. They don't have extra flood insurance, and so they just kind of got to eat that cost. And while they're like, oh, it could have been worse, we don't really have anything too bad, it was really just some old furniture that was ruined, blah, blah, blah. But you can see how sad and devastated they are by that cost. And it works out. Again, because it does have those sad, more realistic moments. And I think that comics, just based on it being comedic, should be regularly funny. But because it is more funny than bad, and is very wholesome, that is what puts it at number 7. Number 6 is Crankshaft. Now, Crankshaft is the titular character who is a bus driver who is this combination of, he has a soft heart, but he's a cranky old man. His one neighbor can't stand him, and he drives his kids nuts because he's always catching something on fire with his grill, because he never knows that lighter fluid, not the way to go. But you see him really bouncing between his persona of, he's this tough, crotchety old guy who's just, he's been through a whole bunch in life and he doesn't want to deal with any of your nonsense, while simultaneously going, he's been through a lot in life and he has a good heart and he will ultimately make the right decision. There's a lot of running gags in Crankshaft, which I personally love. That might be annoying to some people. And there's other characters. It's not just centered around Crankshaft. You know, there are his neighbors, his niece, some of the people on his bus route and his bowling league. There are other people who have storylines and comedic incomes and stuff. So that balance really works out, and that is why he is number 6. We're in our top 5. Yes, my lovely humans, top 5 of Sunday comics, and that is, Zits is number 5. I was bouncing around with these a lot according to my notes. Like, it's just, it was crazy. Things were put all over the place. But it is Zits. Now, Zits is another family-centric comic where the son is an older teen who is an older teen boy in a very traditional sense. He has a girlfriend who he really loves. He has a band he's trying to start, and a nosy mother who nags too much, and a dad who just is very out there. And the dad is like, has a lot of common sense, but doesn't have a lot of technological sense. So it balances out. The teenager thinks his parents are embarrassing. The parents think their son is embarrassing. And the two bounce off of conflicting with just that family dynamic of having an older teen. You know, they think they know everything. They're lazy until they're not. And when they're not, it's usually trouble. And parents who don't understand technology, who have settled into their own world too much. And again, it's very lighthearted, which I very much love. And even though there are some soft moments, the funny factor is continued to be the priority. Number 4 is Daddy Days. Now, this is actually a new comic to me. I just started reading it in the last year or so. And I think it's so simple, it's genius. So what it is there is a father figure who is a dad, and he has a baby who only talks in baby talk. Just beep, 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 beep. Ba, 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 ba. That's all he goes is ba, 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 beep, 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 beep. Ba. And the dad is able to communicate him very similarly to how in Peanuts, the grown-ups in the thing go, wah, 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 but all of the children are able to clearly understand them. The dad understands the baby, and his answering or clarifying of things with this otherwise precocious baby is where the humor comes from. Where the baby is like, understands complex things like, we could commit fraud to do something, and the dad is just like, no, we cannot break into that to do that. That would be immoral. And the dad is very basic, very simple, and a very loving, at-home dad. It's just very soft. It's very sweet. And again, there's something about the simplicity of it that is just to me. Number 3 is Pickles. Pickles is top tier comic. It is about an older couple named Pearl and Earl. And they are presumably in their 70s-ish. And the two of them are just a typical couple doing typical couple things. But Earl does not have common sense. And Pearl has a perfectionist idea in her head. And so you're just seeing these two couples who have been together forever, and they both make fun of each other for all sorts of things. For instance, Pearl says, "I can't go for a walk without my trusty old windbreaker." And it turns out that the trusty old windbreaker is not a jacket, but it is in fact her husband, Earl. Earl also is known for doing things that Pearl finds ridiculous, such as using magic marker to color in holes in his socks. Yeah, like he just colors on his foot so that it looks like it matches the rest of the sock. And he uses tissue instead. He uses toilet paper instead of tissues because he thinks they're better. And he eats whole pies to himself, and when Pearl asks him why, he was like, I thought it would be disrespectful to your cooking if I didn't eat all of it at once. And just seeing these two have this very cutesy back and forth is just lovely. And you see Earl trying to cheat his way through gifts, through holidays, and by cheat through I mean, like, instead of wrapping a present, he puts Pearl's presents in a garbage bag and accidentally switches it with the real garbage, which is put under the tree instead of her present. And just for those very fun, low reasons, I just, it's great. Number 2 is the very famous Calvin and Hobbes. If you have not heard of Calvin and Hobbes, Calvin is a precocious little boy who is 6 years old. He hates homework. He is naughty. And his only real friend is his imaginary stuffed tiger, which you are left wondering, on purpose by the creator, Bill Watterson, to decide if everyone else just does not see Hobbes for his fully grown talking self, because whenever he is on screen with anybody else, he is just a stuffed tiger. But when he's alone with Calvin, he's an animated, regular-sized animal who is sentient. And seeing these two go through... Now, I will say that Calvin and Hobbes has a lot of heartfelt moments. It has a lot of philosophical, deep thinking moments. Concerns about the environment are expressed. Concerns about people not understanding each other. Lack of communication. And Calvin he's creative but impulsive, and he is the counterpiece to Hobbes, where Hobbes is more logical, realistic, and earthly. Calvin is imaginative, impulsive, and out there. And the two of them make for a fun adventuring pair that they do genuinely enjoy each other's company, while being kind of each other's enemy at the same time. They are willing to throw water balloons and everything at each other, because again, that is Calvin's notable only friend. It is number 2 on the list, just because I adore Peanuts. If you are unfamiliar, I have like the dog. I have so many blankets. Just Peanuts stuff is everywhere. I love Peanuts. I love Snoopy. And I enjoy Peanuts from the whole of itself. Now, a lot of people don't know that in the very early start of the comics, Snoopy was not Charlie Brown's specific dog. That didn't happen for several years later. But he was actually just the neighborhood stray, and Lucy was shown to be significantly younger than Charlie Brown and some of the other kids. And Charlie Brown was not just picked on for being Charlie Brown, for having low self-esteem and being wishy-washy. All the characters made fun of each other for whatever flaws they had. And for whatever reason, Charles Schulz decided that he always felt like a Charlie Brown, and so he made Charlie Brown the target of most of the jokes. But Charlie Brown does get to win a lot. I love the funniness of Snoopy. I love all the characters. Having multiple characters that you have storylines off of and bounce off of. The movies and everything where Charlie Brown does finally get to win, it gives that satisfaction because you see him taking L's so often through the series. When Charlie Brown does get that win, it's so much more satisfying. And again, it's just funny as heck. They're quick little quips, just some one-liners. Sometimes there's running jokes. It's just this conglomeration of greatness and humor, and that is why it is one of my, and because it's so long running, there's so many different versions of it. The TV series, the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show, the comics, the various movies and specials. Absolutely love. And I hope that you enjoy this tier list, and let me know what your favorite comic is in the description below, and